Now we're going to do a yoga practice to help us with our hip flexors. These are the muscles that rest in the front of the hips and they help us lift up our leg. They can get really tight and sore, and we're going to stretch them out today, so thank you for joining. We're going to start in the seated position. Go ahead and place some sort of cushion or bolster or blanket right underneath the hip bones so that you're picking up the hip bones higher than the knees. This helps the legs to go in a down slope and already start to release those hip flexors. Okay, so let's place the hands face down on top of the legs, and you're going to close the eyes and just take a few deep breaths. This helps us to ground into the body, focus on the physicality, focus on this moment. Breathe in and out through the nose, keeping the mouth closed. As you breathe in, you want to draw the breath down all the way to the belly so it expands like a big balloon. And then exhale, the belly comes towards the spine. Lengthening each breath a little bit longer than the last. Excellent. Let's go ahead and draw the hands right to the hips. The fingertips are in the front and the thumbs are in the back. We're going to start with a little arching and curling of the spine. You want the movement to start from the hips and then raise it up into the rest of the body. So first, let's just tilt the hips forward and back. So as you start doing this, you might feel the pointy bones that are sticking down towards the cushion below you. These are your sit bones. You want to be rolling back and forward over top of the sit bones. Excellent. Now we're going to connect this with the rest of the spine. So let's tilt the hips forward. Inhale, take a big breath. Open the front of the chest, lengthen the front of the neck, lift the chin. And exhale, tuck the tailbone under, draw the sit bones forward, and reach the crown of the head towards the front. So you're making this nice curl with the spine. The shoulders are relaxed. Inhale, going in the opposite direction. Arch the spine, lift the tailbone. And exhale, curl. Beautiful. One more time. Inhale, open the front of the body. And exhale, round. The elbows come forward. Coming back towards the center, find a neutral position for the hips and stack the spine right on top. So we can always check by having the hips in neutral, the ribs are on top of the hips, and then the shoulders rest right on top of the rib cage. Excellent. From here, we're going to do a little bit more movement from just the hip joint. So you're going to keep the spine still. Before we were arching and curling, now I want it to be nice and still. So let's come forward and make a big circle all the way around. So it doesn't matter which direction you start with. See if you can release the front of the hip flexors. So this part here, the knees will stay resting on the floor. You can keep the hands on the hips just for a little bit more of a tactile sensation so you can feel the sensation of the hips moving around. You're breathing, inhaling across the front, exhaling across the back. Beautiful. And we're going to go in the opposite direction whenever you just want to switch. Keep breathing in to go forward and out to go back. The spine again should be in one unit. Beautiful. Coming back through the center. Last time. Excellent. So we're going to take it a little bit further here. You're going to come forward and make a round, out around the hip bone and to the back. And then you're going to come through the center before going to the other hip bone and then back. So you're making a figure of 8. And you can make it a little bit more speedy if you like, but you can also keep it nice and slow. Breathing in to go forward, out, back. In to go forward and out to go back. One more time. And we're going to switch directions. Go back, around the hip, and back, around the hip. Exhale back, inhale forward. Exhale back, inhale forward. See if you can really relax through the hips. Keep the thighs relaxed. Beautiful. Coming back to the center. Again, finding that neutral spine, lengthening up. Take a deep breath in, reach the arms up towards the ceiling, and exhale, twist to the side. Placing the front hand across onto the knee. The back hand goes behind. Inhale to lengthen the spine, and then exhale, look all the way behind you. Inhale, coming back through the center, reach the arms up, and exhale, twisting to the opposite side. Inhale to create space, and exhale, twist into that space. Inhale, reach the arms back up towards the ceiling, and exhale, bring them down. Beautiful. We're gonna come into onto the mat, so you can go ahead and remove the cushion and place the hands and the knees onto the floor. So let's separate the knees quite wide and sit down onto the heels. If you have a little bit of pain in the knees, you can always place a blanket underneath for support. Walk the hands forward and place the forehead on the floor. Send the hips to the right and send the hips to the left. The spine will follow like a wave. So you're really just relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the neck. The forehead rolls across the mat, and the hips are just rocking side to side. You're breathing. You're still breathing in and out through the nose, keeping the mouth closed. Breathing into the belly. Beautiful. Coming back to the center. Stretch through the fingertips and the knuckles. Press the tailbone towards the back of the room. Take a deep inhale. And exhale, soften. Inhale, bring the chest forward, arch the spine. And exhale, sit down. You're going to tuck the tailbone under and bring the pubic bone towards the nose. So the hips are not coming all the way on top of the knees, just into this curl. And then inhale, arch forward, lift the chest, and exhale, arch back, or round back. Keep going, breathing in, breathing out. One more time. And child's pose. Beautiful. This time you're going to bring the hips all the way to the front of the mat. Keep the knees bent and lift the chest. Exhale, child's pose. Breathe in to come forward and breathe out, go back. Breathe in to go forward, stretching those hip flexors. Really getting the pelvis to come forward. Exhale. This one can actually go quite quickly. We're really just starting to kind of jump start the energy of the body. So you can speed it up as long as you feel comfortable. One more time. I think I did an extra one. Coming into child's pose, relax the body. And just take this moment to notice the changes. See if the body feels a little bit warmer, if the breath feels a little bit heavier. See if you can slow down that breathing. Beautiful. Coming up onto the hands and the knees, you're going to place the hands all the way at the front of the mat, tuck the toes under, and bring yourself into downward facing dog. You can just sway the hips from side to side, keep them nice and loose and moving. We've done so much work to get them warmed up. Excellent. From here, take a nice deep breath. Send the hips towards the ceiling. Exhale, draw the heels down towards the floor. On your next inhale, you're going to take the right foot all the way towards the front of the mat and place it next to the right fingertips. The left knee goes onto the floor, untuck the toes. Really reach the hips forward. So here's that left hip flexor. Really move into that space. Lift the chest. Keeping the chest connected to the right thigh, you're going to move the hips towards the back, flex the right foot. Inhale to the front. So you're just still warming up this hamstring. So no pushing or shoving, just allowing the hips to move back and forward with the breath. Exhale. And the breath should really create an atmosphere for relaxation. So you're not pushing. You really want to just glide with the breath. The longer you can breathe, the more space and relaxation you can create. One more time. And bringing yourself to the front, tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee. Straighten the right leg. Bring the left foot forward all the way to the front of the mat. Lift the chest halfway. I'm just going to back up for you. And then exhale, fold forward. You can grab onto the ankles or you can place the hands down, perfectly fine. Find which position works for you. Keep breathing. Nice forward fold. So in our forward fold, you want to make sure that the hips are not sitting backwards. You want to bring them forward over top of the heels. Pressing through all four corners of the feet. Keep breathing into the belly. Excellent. Inhale, lift the chest halfway. Really lengthen through the spine. And exhale, fold forward once more. This time we're going to take the right foot all the way towards the back of the mat and place the right knee onto the floor, untuck the toes. Other side, inhale, bring the hips to the front, and exhale towards the back. Try to keep the hips even. You want to think of the tailbone lifting towards the ceiling. So that right hip flexor, really send it forward. One more time. Excellent. From here, you're going to take the left knee and bring it next to the right knee. Sit down onto the heels. Inhale, the hips go towards the right, all the way across the front of the mat, and exhale to the left. Sit back. Inhale to the front, across the mat, and back. Nice deep breaths. The head is relaxed. One more time. Excellent. Beautiful. Inhale, lift the chest forward, tops of the feet press, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. From here, you're going to take the right foot all the way to the front of the mat, and again, place that knee down, untuck the toes. Bring the right hand inside the right foot and send the right foot out towards the edge of the mat. Lift the chest up. You're going to find that figure of 8 again with the hips. So in this position feels super awkward to do that, but you're going to go ahead and just feel out what kinks are still left inside those hips. So even if it's not a perfect figure of 8, don't worry about it. Just keep the hips moving around. And switch direction. Beautiful. Bring the hips to the front. Walk the hands forward even a little bit more. Separate the fingers. Lengthen through the spine and keep the back of the neck nice and long. Make sure that the right knee is on top of or just behind the right ankle, not in front. Super important. Press through the right heel and send the hips to the front. Take your time. Deep breaths. Beautiful. Let's bring the hands back up onto the mat. The left one's going to go right under the nose, and the right hand's going to come onto the right knee. You're just going to tilt the knee out towards the side, coming onto the edge of the right foot, and then send the hips a little bit more forward. There you go. Beautiful. Lift the chest up and look over the back shoulder. Get a little bit of a twist. Keep moving the left hip towards the front of the mat. You're breathing into the belly. Excellent. And for my super flexible ladies and gentlemen out there, I'm going to have you bend the back knee, grab on with the right fingertips, and then reach the foot away and lift the chest a little bit higher. So you really want to move the foot towards the back. That helps this hip go forward. You're breathing into the belly. And release. Placing the hands down, you're going to bring that right foot back towards the center, lift the back knee, straighten the front leg, and move the left foot to the front. Beautiful. Take your 2-piece fingers, wrap them around the big toes, and lift the chest halfway, lengthen through the spine, lift the tailbone, and exhale, fold forward. And here you're welcome to bend the knees if you like. Make sure that the hips are still moving forward on top of the heels. Beautiful. Inhale, lift the chest halfway and let it go. Beautiful. The right foot is going to come all the way towards the back of the mat, and you're going to place the knee onto the floor, untuck the toes. Send the hips forward. Bring both hands inside the left foot and move the left foot towards the edge of the mat. Reach the chest open, shoulders are down, and the hips are going forward. From here, you're going to find that figure of 8 with the hips. So just starting in any direction, because you know we're going to switch, and finding that range of motion. Really what we're doing is rolling the top of the thigh bone around inside the pelvic bone. Beautiful. And switch directions. Beautiful. Excellent. Bring the hips forward. Walk the hands forward even a little bit further, lengthening through the spine. So there should be one nice long line from the head all the way to the right knee. Keep moving the right hip forward. We're going to hold it here for a few breaths, so refocus your attention onto the breath. Remember in the beginning, we did those long, deep breaths into the belly. Really find those again and relax into the muscles. Beautiful. Bringing the hands back onto the mat. The right hand goes right underneath the nose. The left hand onto the left knee. Roll to the outside of the left foot and rotate the chest open. Look over the left shoulder. You're bringing the hips forward and you're lifting through the chest, opening across the front of the collarbones. And again, if you're feeling super bendy today, go ahead and bend that back knee. You're going to grab on with the left hand and then reach the foot away from the body to open the chest. And release. Placing the hands either side of the front foot. You're going to place the hands down and send the left foot to the back. Both knees are going to touch, and then you're going to sit down onto the heels. Inhale the hips to the left and across the front of the mat, and exhale to the right and back. Beautiful. Inhale to the left, exhale to the right. Fantastic. From here, you're going to go ahead and grab a couple of towels or some blankets and place one on either side of the mat. And then separate the knees so that they go on top of the towels. You'd just like to have a little bit more cushion here for this next posture. This is called our frog stretch, and you want the knees to be 90 degrees, the ankles to be 90 degrees, as well as the hips. Now, you can come down onto the forearms, and I want you to check in with the hip direction. So I don't want the hips to be pointing down towards the floor like that, and I don't want them to be tucked under either. Nice and flat, just like if you were in a plank position. So neutral with the hips, And then go ahead and separate the knees as much as feels comfortable, sort of comfortable. And then you're gonna relax the shoulders and breathe into the belly. Let's take 3 more breaths. And then when you're ready, the feet are gonna come together first. You're gonna pick yourself up and slowly bring the knees together. Excellent. The knees are going to go right towards the front of the mat, and you're going to separate the feet and sit in between the feet. Now, this could be very uncomfortable for some, so I would like to suggest maybe putting the cushions right underneath the sitting bones. So that's perfectly fine. I'm just going to send mine to the side. Okay. Once you get that nice comfortable position, there should not be any sharp pain in the knees. If there is, again, sit yourself up as much as you need to. From here, you're going to start to walk the hands backwards, tuck the tailbone under. So really think about bringing the pubic bone up and tucking the tailbone underneath. Walking the hands back. If you're on the cushions, this might be just far enough. If you don't have any cushions, maybe you want to go down onto the elbows. The knees are still touching at the front. Keep tucking the tailbone under. The lower back, you want to reach towards the floor. You don't want to arch the lower back. So keep it nice and flat. Maybe you come down onto the shoulders. Maybe you reach the arms overhead. So this is going to give you a nice stretch all across the quad. So you really want to think about bringing the top of the hip bones towards the nose. Let's take just a few more breaths here. And release. Bringing the hands to the heels if you're on your back. You're just going to push yourself up and then bring the hips up, cross the ankles, and come onto the sit bones. Go ahead, we're going to just roll down onto the back. Give yourself a nice big squeeze. Maybe take the knees and make a big circle around. This will help just to notice how much space you've created in the hips. Excellent. And then when you're ready, you're going to separate the arms, drop the knees over towards the right, and look towards the left. And coming back through the center, just draw the knees to the opposite side and look towards the right. And then coming back to the center to begin our Shavasana, our final resting pose. So just take a moment to reach the legs out in front of you. And the arms out to the sides, close the eyes. Relax all the muscles starting at the feet, working your way up to the ankles and the knees, the hips and the pelvis, the fingers and the hands, the wrists, the elbows. Completely relax. Relax the chest, relax the shoulders, relax the neck, Relax all the muscles of the face. Relax the scalp. Feel the entire body sink into the mat beneath you. Total relaxation. And wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. Maybe take a big stretch, reach behind you before rolling onto the right side of the body. When you're ready, coming to a seated position on the mat. Take this moment and thank yourself for dedicating time to the mind, the body, and the spirit. Namaste. Thank you.